Savanna's Act, we've talked about, is named in honor of a Savanna LaFontaine-Greywind, a 22-year-old pregnant member of the Spirit Lake tribe who was murdered in my home state of North Dakota in 2017. Her disappearance and suspected murder not only devastated the Spirit Lake Nation, but it also devastated the community of Fargo, and was really, truly a horrible issue felt by every member of my state from one end to the other. For 8 days, her family, friends, and the community searched for her, hoping that she would be found alive. As we all know, she was not. But thankfully, her baby was found alive after surviving the attack and literally being cut from the womb. Savanna's murder brought to light that data on missing and murdered Indigenous people, women and girls in particular, is scattered around government agencies or it's completely non-existent. Savanna's Act attempts to address this issue. It requires the Justice Department to develop protocols to address missing and murdered Native Americans, including information sharing and training for law enforcement. We must do more to bring justice for the victims and prevent these crimes from happening. And the reason is the statistics are staggering. On some reservations, Indian women are murdered at a rate at more than 10 times the national average. Native Americans are 2.5 times as likely to experience violent crimes and 2 times more likely to experience sexual assault crimes. And the number of unsolved crimes on Native American reservations is significantly higher than even the most crime-ridden cities we have in the country. More than 4 in 5 Native American women, around 84%, will experience some form of violence in their lifetime. And the reason and the factors for this are varied. We deal with poverty, we deal with rural communities in general, jurisdictional fights between different organizations, addiction, a history of racial abuse. None of those things matter to the people who are missing and to the family members and the tribal members that are missing. And in Savanna Greywind's case, the perpetrators were found and justice was served. But that'll never bring her back. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention this at the same time. At the same time this was captivating the entire state of North Dakota, Olivia Lone Bear went missing from the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation in October of 2017. Her body was found almost an entire year later in Lake Sakakawea on July 31st of 2018, and as of today, that case has not been resolved. Communication breakdowns from one end to the other have caused frustration. Her family members, the tribal governments, and the state of North Dakota have no resolution to this case. I wish these were 2 isolated stories, but we all know they're not. So, when we're here and we're working towards things, and I get we're in a polarized environment and we deal with lots of different things, but this is absolutely the purview of Congress. This bill has had broad bipartisan and bicameral support, and there's really no excuse to not to get Savanna's Act passed. And I'd like to thank my friend for Washington for doing this today. I would like to thank Congresswoman Torres and Senator Murkowski for authoring the bill. I'd like to say thank you to my Senators Kramer and Senator Hoeven for co-sponsoring the bill. And I'd like to say a special thank you to former Senator Heitkamp, who really did champion this issue at her time in the Senate. I urge my colleagues to pass Savanna's Act. It's simple. Sometimes we can do the right thing. And with that, I yield back.